What's up, y'all? This is your girl Mel J with You Got Mail TV, and today I had the pleasure to attend the Two Unique Boutique Fashion Show here in Memphis. And while I was there, I had the honor of interviewing actor Yohance Myles. You may know him best from his roles in Containment, Two Guns, and now the new hit drama series on the OWN network, Ambitions. So check out our conversation and make sure you watch until the end for clips from the fashion show. Thank you for supporting Two Unique's annual fashion show. We appreciate you for that. And also, welcome to Memphis. It's your first time here?
See, I've driven through Memphis. I have family in Memphis, but this is my actual first time planted in here. Outside of a family wedding that I went to.
Okay.
But I'm in Memphis.
Okay. Well, welcome. Have you seen any of the city? Have you been to some of our local eating spots?
I have not. I've heard about them, but we'll see what happens.
Don't leave without going to the Four-Way Grill Soul Food Restaurant.
Okay.
It's like a historical landmark here in Memphis.
Okay.
It's not far from the Civil Rights Museum and Lemoyne College, which is a HBCU here.
Okay.
And also A&R Barbecue. They're right across the street.
See, I hear a lot. See, the barbecue is what we get across the other state borders. Is, you know, if you talk about barbecue, then you need to come to Memphis. So
Yes.
Memphis, I'm going to hold you to that and make sure. Now, do you?
We will not disappoint.
You prefer I sit and eat it, or do I? You know, because it's part of dangerous driving with such a good barbecue.
Do not drive and eat. We don't need a slippery rib in one hand and the other hand on the steering wheel. No, because we need you to get back home to Alabama safe.
Gotcha.
Okay. But
Awesome.
yeah, so yes, sit and eat.
Okay, I would definitely
We're
do
real
that.
nice here, friendly. Now
Thank
people
you.
probably gonna bombard you and interrupt, but yes,
Thank
sit and eat, sit and eat. And so we love to eat down here. And you're from the South.
Yes, I
You're
am.
from Birmingham, Alabama.
Birmingham, Alabama.
Alabama State alum.
Yes, Alabama State University.
So how did attending an HBCU impact your career? Like, how did it prepare you for your career in acting?
I first come from one of the top HBCU theater, visual performing arts program, which was led under the leadership. She just recently resigned, Dr. Tania Stewart. She worked a total of 48 years in education, but it was under her guidance at Alabama State that gave me all the training and the tools that I needed to embody to access the success that I have now. So it definitely was instrumental in a lot of ways. That I would not, be where I am if it wasn't for her. And she was the closest thing, to me. When I went to school, you think about what I had access and hands reach. She was there in Montgomery, and I went to ASU in '98. So that was the closest thing to Hollywood, being able to see a lady who, for our mother's generation, she played in The Heat of the Night. She was the Auntie Kibi, and she was Samuel Jackson's wife in The Time to Kill.
Yeah.
She was right there, so I said, that's where I'm going. That's where Hollywood is.
Okay. And so I understand that you also taught at the HBCU.
Yes.
At Jackson State University.
Jackson State University.
And so I attended there for 2 days.
Oh, okay.
my parents drove me away, but it's okay. I went on to Lemoyne College here and to Tennessee State University. So I'm a huge supporter of HBCUs.
Yes.
And there's been a push, even with Beyonce's Beachella, where she had Grambling State. Grambling State Band on stage with her performing. That meant a lot to our culture.
Right.
So there's been a big push for us to attend HBCUs. How do you feel about that?
I say that there's different dynamics to what that means.
Okay.
See, some people will beg to differ. If you grow up in a predominantly black community, your elementary, your middle school, your high school is all black, then someone would say diversify your experiences, try a white institution.
Okay.
The other half of that would say, well, continue that because culturally you need to continue those steps that teaches you about you. What better way to do that with being around, that environment.
Exactly.
For me, it's just a different choice of thought. Depends on your family, the income, the economic terms in which you have to live within. Some parents can afford for their children to go to bigger universities and others, you know. But all in all, I would say to anyone, any African American, being an advocate for HBCUs is what my stickler is to me. You know, definitely continue to be well-rounded, because guess what? We have grown. A lot of HBCUs have expanded. We do have inclusion. We do have diversity. So where we used to be from our forefathers and how they started out, you'll be surprised at all of the renovations, innovations, and updated things that the HBCUs do offer. That many bigger white institutions probably don't think we have.
Right.
Yeah, we can compete with the best, you know, and we have competed with the best.
That's
and
what I want people to know. Right.
We produce the best. And those some programs that are not offered at HBCUs, unfortunately, many of us have to venture off to other schools that may have grad school programs. But those other white institutions, let's not ever forget, you may not want to do this, but there's credit that goes back to the HBCUs from those students who either transfer or went off to those white institutions.
Right. Still talking about school and college. So I want to know your thoughts, or what would you advise someone who's interested in launching their career in acting? Would you suggest a college route that you took, or maybe workshops? Because here's the thing, I've noticed that social media has changed the game as far as entertainment.
Right.
And you can become a celebrity overnight, right? And I've actually watched some people on social media just become stars right before my eyes.
Right.
So there's the social media thing, but then you want to have their formal training as well. So what are your thoughts on social media and how it has shaped or changed the entertainment field?
Well, I'm kind of old school. I could hear a older guy in a barbershop saying these words to many of us young guys when we would be in there as adolescents, getting into trouble, maybe talking about the things we would get into in terms of our youthfulness. The phrase goes like this: easy comes, easy goes. So a lot of what we see in terms of social media gives people access instantly to things. You don't have to worry about a PR. You don't have to worry about, in a lot of ways, distribution, because you are marketing yourself,
representing yourself,
your followers and your fans. You can keep up with those things. There are pros in social media. But in terms of what we do in this field of occupation or career choice, some people call it a lifestyle. There's a difference between overnight success and then a huge difference between sustaining yourself from being trained, you know, in longevity. So I always tell people, many people want the product, but no one wants the process.
That's a word.
So that's the difference you'll be able to see between a lot of new actors, new faces, even with new shows. It's just like your old, remember those, you know, when it came to music, you remember those one-hit wonders? And then you go, what happened to those guys? Because again, you know, you think about what was the foundation it was built on. If there's nothing solid or rooted that you're rooted in, you ain't gonna be able to stand the test of time. So a lot of what's gonna happen from my perspective now, I could be wrong. A lot of what we will start seeing is because we're in a place where it's instant gratification. You know what I'm saying? And so we want what we want right now. And trust me, when you start talking about Denzel and Don Cheadle and all of the great actresses, a lot of what we see with them, if we were to look at their career, a lot of them came out of the theater. They came out of training programs. That's what makes them great.
And so while they may have didn't have like they didn't go to college and earn a bachelor's in fine arts, they still invested in themselves, and you know, learned the skill to perfect it.
We have to meet and adjust to the times, you know, as they would say. You know, either you understand it or understand the language of it, or you speak it. And social media, again, it does have a lot of positive pros to it that help us, but it also hurts us, because what happens too is there's no self-identity of what is really original. You see a lot of the same things, you know, and there's a lot of carbon copies of certain things, and so it's hard to differentiate between, well, what is really good and great, or what is unique or different. So I just try to avoid. I just tell people do get training. And you mentioned earlier about would I say go to college or just do workshops. For some of you who school is not for you, maybe you say, hey, I just can't do a classroom thing.
Okay.
You still need training. You still need
Absolutely.
an actor's class. It's going to cost you money. That's the reality of it.
Right.
You know. So whether you go to graduate school or school, you need to invest in your craft and career.
Right. I want to switch gears just a little bit, and I want to talk about the new series Ambition. And 2 episodes in, and I'm hooked. I'm hooked. And so you work alongside a dynamic cast.
Yes.
With the Robin Givens.
Robin Givens.
Essence Atkins,
Yes.
and Brian White. What has that experience been like? It must be exciting.
Well, one, Robin Givens recently was doing some work in Birmingham at my mother's alma mater, Myles College, which is a private school. Essence Atkins, I have followed her career and watched her in many things, so to be in the same space, scenes, on set, it's, people go, you still get kind of starstruck. There's that moment of, man, I bought your stuff. I used to watch you. I didn't think I worked with you. I have that. And then it's what I mentioned yesterday in one of my social media links. Humility is good, but there's nothing wrong with understanding that when you know you're great, and your greatness is among other great people.
Yes.
So I have to always remind myself, I'm in the space and room with other people who are equipped with what I can also offer too.
Absolutely.
So this is where I belong.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I'm supposed to be here.
You're
I don't
supposed
have
to be
to
here.
question it. Why
Right.
why go through the training and work so hard and dream
To get
and
there, to
pray
be
and
like,
have
hey,
faith and then get there and go, yeah, man, I'm still shocked. No, it's not a shock when
Get in that
when
moment.
you had faith
Yeah.
the entire time and believe in something.
Absolutely.
But Brian White, I would say this. I remember my first movie as an extra. It was Stump the Yard.
Oh, okay.
And I saw him getting off the little bus. They shot it at the Georgia Tech Dome, and it's Neo and Brian White. All of them was getting off the bus. And I said, man, look at those guys. I was in college.
Okay.
I said, man, that should have been me. You know, they doing a step show. I'm an alpha, man. Where was I at with this audition? And that was the first time I saw him. The second time I saw Brian was in 2010 or 2011 in Los Angeles at the NAACP Image Award.
Okay.
And I'm in line promoting a movie that I'd done with Paul Walker, and then it was Lisa Ray, well, Miss McCoy.
Okay.
And then it was Blair Underwood, and then Brian White was further down. And I said, okay, I see you, Brian. You're on my whatever path radar. We're going to work together. I said it in my head. Here it is, full circle. And I'm his rivalry on the show. And I told him everything I shared with you. I told him the same thing. He was like, really? I said, yeah, man, I followed your career. I've watched you. I never saw you as competition. I saw you as an enlightenment, man. You're around my age. You're a leading man. I said, man, that's what I want to do.
And
here
so
we
you
are.
did.
Yeah.
And so you did. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
So I want to talk about Ken Hamilton.
Yes.
So he's an Atlanta city councilman who is not for gentrification.
Nope.
And gentrification has been a hot topic here lately. Even Regina Hall talked about it, or she mentioned it periodically at the BET Awards last week. And it's taken over like our history. It's kind of erasing our history and taking over some of our important landmarks in our cities. And DC is one of the fastest gentrifying cities in the U.S. And Atlanta, you know, I'm not sure where it ranks, but every time I visit, something has changed. Those blighted areas look drastically different. So why do you think it was important for the writers to incorporate that into the series, and what are your thoughts?
And it's funny you're asking me that question. Because originally Kent was not a character on the show.
Okay.
Every other character had uniquely been created with these different dynamics. And so when Kent came along, we had these conversations about, well, who is he? How, outside of just being a rivalry to the mayor, will we see Kent run for that position? But then the writers, again in Atlanta, that is a topic. Some of the topics that have been discussed right now in council meetings, you know, at your local city council halls. Many people I tell right now need to be able to go down to your city council halls, see what they're talking about. But gentrification is important because it displaces a group of people, you know, in a community that are from low value or high value, but those communities have so many things they've invested in. And so the politicians feel like because population grows, more jobs come in, more legislation needs to be made. That's why gentrification take place.
Right.
But we forget about what you said, the history.
Yeah.
These people, poor people who don't have nowhere to go.
Where do they go?
Yeah, where do they go?
Right.
Yeah.
What happens to the people?
So, yeah, that's a huge concern, and I'm glad they're bringing that on this show. To be
It's
part
relevant.
of what we do. Yes.
It's relevant
Currently
to what's going
relevant.
on.
Yes.
Right. Even here in Memphis, I mean, it's not. It doesn't look like some of the major cities like Atlanta or DC. But I was concerned when they started gentrifying the area around Lemoyne where I attended.
Yeah.
Because that area, like, I have a personal connection to it.
Yeah.
So when I started seeing like the mom and pop stores go away.
And they're hiding under the word revitalizing. So when you see that word, it's the same thing as gentrifying. You know, revitalizing or renovating. You know, we look at those as HETV, but you know, like an update of your community. But it has a huge consequences to it if you don't really know the other side of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to ask a fun question. If you could work with one artist or entertainer, who would it be and why?
I would have loved to work with like Don Cheadle.
Okay.
I just admire his trajectory. I think he's just brilliant in what he does.
Okay.
I had a chance to be in the same space and work on a project with Denzel, so that was very captivating in my career to be able to see him in his element, you know, on set and when we were done. But ultimately, I also like to really work with, to be honest with you, I can't say one person, but I would like to work with a lot of my other actors, I call them colleagues or friends that are out there now. What's so interesting is all the people I went to school with, and definitely a lot of the people from Louisiana, which is where I really built my film career.
Okay.
I've been in movies with many of them, but to like sit like what we're doing, you know, I want those moments to happen too.
Okay.
When we'll get a chance to get to a place and go, you remember we was auditioning? And you was on that, but I wasn't on that project, but now we in the same lead roles together.
Yeah.
that's what I really
That
would
would
like
be
to see
cool.
happen, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
So where can your fans follow you?
I'm at Yohance Myles, YOHANCE, Myles, MYLES. On Instagram, it is the same thing for Facebook. Look for a website. I'm revamping with my website right now. It's coming real soon, yohancemyles.com. Okay. So within a matter of a couple of weeks, we'll hopefully have that up and running. But definitely you can find me on Instagram and Facebook. So
go follow him.
Yeah, please. Yeah. And also follow the show. Send your likes, your remarks, your comments. Bug the OWN network. If you like what I'm doing on the show and you like what all the other characters are doing, please continue to send your support and love to OWN and hashtag ambitions, and definitely yours truly, Yohance Myles. It's Kent Hamilton.
Yes. So it's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
It's been a lot of fun.
I'm in Memphis.
Yes. Go out and enjoy and have fun.
And get slippery fingers from barbecue.
Yes. And be careful on Beale Street. And thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right.